Hi everyone, this is Juliet here at Healing Waters Sanctuary, Healing Gardens here in Glastonbury. Seems like the whole world is coming to Glastonbury at the moment. So yeah, it's incredibly busy after all the lack of activity here over months and months, almost 2 years of like, oh, this isn't Glastonbury, what's going on, with everything closed down, and suddenly it's like, it's all taken off and the streets are buzzing, the shops are buzzing. It's a beautiful day. Healing Waters is buzzing, the gardens are buzzing. Woo! And well, it's really hot. I'm quite hot. So I have just come up from the polytunnel. I've been snipping away at the branches of the tomatoes in the polytunnel because it's growing like crazy in there. It's so hot, so amazing. And I had 20 minutes to get up from the polytunnel up to the house. It's up a very, very steep hill from the gardens up to the house, and refresh myself. So I do hope my usual plea, I do hope there are some people here. So could you just, Marian, hi.
Made it. Can you hear me?
You made it. Wow.
I'm on a new computer and it just took me somewhere completely different. I had no idea. So I've had to. Anyway, I found you now.
Where did it take you? Did it take you on like hybrid?
Well, I logged into. It took me into a Restream account, but it wouldn't bring me anyway. I'm here now. Yeah. So hello.
It's okay. I'm having a very, very leisurely hello to everybody. I'm not sure who's here or not here at this point. I'm just saying I'm massively hot because I've been in the polytunnel.
Oh wow!
With the tomatoes, and they're up to the roof. Everything's up to the roof, and the beans are up to the roof, and they're going along the girders of the polytunnel.
Nice.
It's a bit like a jungle, and it's peeked in underneath, and I could see there were cucumbers, but how to get to them? I had to kind of swim my way through the undergrowth to the cucumbers, and like keeping in my head all the time, oh, I have to get up for the Restream video.
You made it. Good.
I made it and came up with 6 lovely big cucumbers. It's great.
Yeah. So you managed to get those cucumbers then?
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever grown the ones that go up the strings.
Nice. So they're all inside the polytunnel. So they're all getting extra supercharged energy as well. Supercharged
energy, yes.
Yeah.
Along with the tomatoes and the lemon trees and things. So it's really fabulous.
Yes. Could do with a bit of supercharged energy myself. I'm cold today. I've gone cold.
Cold?
About an hour ago, I got complete goose pimples everywhere.
How strange is that?
I had quite a deep process this morning. And I think it's stuff's layers moving. We're tapping into depressed parts. Very young, pre-verbal depressed parts.
Oh.
Yeah.
So were you doing some kind of regression work?
Parts integration, the internal family systems, yeah. So I was doing internal family systems. We use kinesiology to keep us on track and specific and direct. But trying to stay, when a part is very young, it feels like it's background noise to your whole life, you know, those kind of parts. It's very difficult to stay precisely on the track of the part because all these other pieces come in. So I've got a little people pleaser that wants to come in. I've got a what have I got? I've got a spiteful one who wants to come in. Got all these other little parts that keep speaking, but we have to keep checking, is this from the specific part? No. So it was 3 hours long and it didn't feel like much happened, but the ability to stay with this aspect, I think that's what's thrown up, you know, either energy out of it or a need, because it's a little energy vampire. That was the other thing the sense that I got. It was like, it didn't matter how much you gave it, it would just need more. It's stuck in this little victim.
Yeah, I think that's really that word vampire though. It's like that poor little part was really in a lot of pain.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like it's a bottomless pit at the moment. That's the sense, because the little part doesn't know how to cope, doesn't know what to do. It just has
Well,
this need.
that's interesting, because I'm reading a book. Oh, we have 7 people. It says I'm reading a book that my daughter gave me about desire, and it's a
Yeah.
Buddhist text, and talking about how, you know, Buddha takes the middle path, because there's either like absolute indulgence in sensory experience and pleasure, or there was the path that Buddha took before he became enlightened, where he just tried to conquer desire, and it's like complete asceticism.
Yeah, aestheticism. Yeah.
Thank you. And to the point of just being skin and bones. It's like to try and knock out any desire of any kind. But and he's also talking about the Ramayana and what happened with Rama and Sita, and how she was taken off by the devil, not the devil, but the devilish, yes, and how
taken
that's
off by this guy here,
Ravana, yes.
Ravana, yeah.
That's right, and like this is a fundamental human condition, the battle between desire and trying to conquer desire. And he was also,
well, there is a desire to conquer desire, so it's a loop.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that the process, the power of this process is to be able to connect to these aspects, because they're not me, but to connect in a way that I feel like it's either my higher self or something very central.
Yeah, that's some observational part of yourself that can
exactly, the observer. There's something about an observer, but I also need to bring in parental care or something, is because these parts are so young and had no conscious
That's it, no holding.
Yeah, no. You got hitting, lots of hitting.
A lot of hitting, a lot of battering, but not being seen, not being heard.
And the thing that came up this morning, I think that was really strong, was that the cot was used as a punishment chamber.
Behind bars.
Yeah, behind bars, in a box, can't move, and then you have to sleep in it as well. It's just this whole thing about the cot being a little prison, and so it's switched off a part of the flight mechanism. That's what.
Well, that's the thing with children, they can't escape, and that's why they're so easily traumatized, because when you click in with fight or flight and then it can't succeed, then you go into shock and shut down. And children can't get away. They're completely at the mercy.
And we were intentionally restrained. So you'd be put in the cot, or you'd be strapped into your pram and put in a room that had no handle on the door, and they closed the door. How am I even still able to cope, to communicate coherently? I don't know.
Oh, so did you give space for your little one?
Yeah, it was all about her. It was the whole session was just to hold the space, and can we just keep welcoming her into the space?
Yeah.
With whatever.
So the question is, like, what helped her, even though conditions were so terrible? What helped her to get through?
Well, what helped
is
disembodiment.
Dissociation, disconnect.
Total dissociation. So there's this other part here who thinks she's a fucking fairy or something.
Judging.
She's just flying. She ain't stopping flying. So we did talk to her a little bit. Because she winds the situation. So there's this, there's this integral making it worse between the two of them kind of thing. But they both think they're trying to sort it out. But what happens in my body is I just end up in this wriggly, anxious, don't really know what to bloody do with myself state. But then there's this fear of speaking up, so I freeze in that place.
Damned if I do and damned if I don't. Either way, there's no way out of this. Yeah.
So that was my 3 hours this morning.
Oh, well, how delightful.
Yeah.
So what's the value of doing this work, Marion? Why bother?
Well, at the moment, I'm trying to prevent a deterioration in my vision ability. Right. So to me that's the goal, is to because the vision deterioration has been so huge over the last 2 years. just what can I do to balance something?
Absolutely. And you know that wasn't a serious question, don't you? Why bother?
Yeah. But it's one that happens all the time, especially with new clients.
Yeah, it's like,
They're like,
why?
oh, if we do this, will you fix it? And you go,
Yeah.
no, it might feel a bit worse afterwards because you'll become more conscious of the show. Or why bother? That's where that question comes up.
Yeah. But this is like fundamental, that you have to go through. You have to go through that experience.
Learn so much. You learn so much from these parts. When you can really this is the beauty of the kinesiology for me, is when you can really specifically isolate and communicate one stream, one consciousness stream, which sometimes is attached even to just one phrase or one little feeling. But when you can really hone it into that, then that in itself begins this other unfolding that softens and balances other things.
Yeah.
So my vision's clearer this afternoon than it was this morning.
Beautiful.
Because I had a couple of texts on the way to his place, and I really couldn't see them very well.
No.
And then when I come in this afternoon, I'm like, oh, I can read my text quite easily. Yeah.
It's wonderful to be able to notice that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's good when we're doing healing work to have some kind of
got some guide, reference points,
so you can see what things have changed. Because when you're in the process, it can feel like nothing's changed.
Didn't feel like anything. Didn't feel, because even the parts, these two parts that are really polarized, it's like they don't even know each other really exist. They can hear each other, and there's information there, but they're so in their little process. They're really, one of them, I said, it's like she's in a fishbowl. She lives in a fishbowl. So to even wave through the glass of the fishbowl and go, hello, hello, little part, I'm here.
Yeah. And it's these same.
Took about half an hour.
Oh. So it's interesting. Thomas Hugel talks about how the eyes are the only way a little child has to control the degree of threat. So glazing the eyes over and withdrawing back behind the eyes.
Yeah, both of these. One looks that way and one looks that way. I can't think of it. One looks that way and one looks that way. Nobody's looking here ahead. And that's what my eyes have done. They've diverged. Actually, no, they've converged, but same effect. So it is, my body's just following the instructions that are coming through from all this, the unconscious psyche stuff.
Yeah, healing
you need to look in two directions. All right, we'll do that then. I'm good at that. I could win that competition.
Yeah, healing is so much more than fixing like taking a pill.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the great shift in consciousness that happens at this moment in time, is understanding the multi-dimensional nature of healing.
Yeah.
And it was a shame the way the Rockefellers actually set up the pharmaceutical companies and robbed people of that understanding about their health and their nature.
Oh, they had to take it away. They had to take it away. Otherwise, there was no business in it for them. That was step one. Take away any possibility of them helping themselves.
Yeah, but now we're reclaiming it, and that's
it's difficult because we think we've been programmed. The pill will fix it. One pill, just one little paracetamol or whatever one little antibiotic, whatever it is they do.
One little thing in the arm.
Created the other thing that's created this idea that external thing will fix my whole reality forever.
Yeah. It's depriving people, and we're depriving ourselves of taking any responsibility for anything.
Completely.
Absolutely anything. And I think this nightmare is probably going to continue like this until each person, each one of us, steps up and takes responsibility in some way. I mean, what for people,
and realizes it is worth. You say, oh, it's not worth it if it's going to bring up more symptoms. Well, it is actually, because while these symptoms are not being expressed consciously, they're eating your liver, or they're killing your colon, or they're doing something.
Yeah. Indeed they are. So we have a message from our nutrient Nirvana.
Oh, it's Paul. He's in Glastonbury.
He's in Glastonbury, and I didn't know if he wanted to come in at the end of the call. I don't even know how I would squeeze him into my little space to say hi on the camera. So Paul, if you're here, that's what I thought. Was it like 10 to 6 or something that you come in and just come in? My front door's open, and come into the studio. What do you think, Marion? And he put his head round the.
Yeah. Wait, so you're in your living room, are you?
I'm in my beautiful living room, yes. So you would have to be courageous and step through my front door, the door of a stranger.
He's a bit of a cheeky chappy, I think you might.
He's a bit cheeky chappy. I don't know if you're listening, Paul.
Courageous is definitely something I would say.
Step through the door of the mad woman that he happens to have seen.
Have you met him yet then? Have you actually?
No, not at all.
Okay, so he's just got there then.
Yeah,
so for those of you that don't know, this Paul is the guy who smashed up his deli, and he's in Glastonbury right now because he's gone to visit Juliet because it was part of his prize.
That's right. So just for everybody to know that our word is our bond.
Yes, we've distributed our prize now.
Absolutely, and we offered an amazing prize for people to smash up their tellies and to get as many likes as possible, and Paul was the only one.
There was no competition. It was just Paul.
Yeah, Paul who had the balls to do it.
Yes. Exactly.
So he deserves every penny of this.
And it's really funny. If you haven't watched the video, you need to watch it because he's there trying to smash the telly up without getting glass on his grass because he did it on his lawn. I don't know what. How did that? I don't know. Anyway. Who knows what happens in people's minds?
Well, maybe I give him a second one to smash up here before he can actually get his prize. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good idea. If there's one around.
So if anybody listening's got that lives near Glastonbury's got a TV, another TV for Paul to do a second one on camera, bring it over.
Yeah. Yeah, we get him to go straight in the screen. Because
we could set up a telly smashing business, couldn't we?
I think we should. We should have a telly smashing challenge.
Yeah.
As a channel. Broadcast daily.
Yes. Well, so it says here we have 6 people who are so far watching.
Let's do a bit of.
Let's just check.
Let's do a bit of stalking. See where you all are.
Well, the Facebook one doesn't seem to be doing anything.
Over go Juliet and then I go.
Oh yes, that's working. So what else is working?
There's Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Is that working? Yeah.
Yeah, Facebook Live's working.
Oh yes, that's working.
So what else is working?
There's Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Is that working? I see. So they'll send you a heart.
Yeah.
So we've got the messages are not coming up on the stream.
No, why are they?
That's all right. You can see them. Doesn't matter. We can see them.
Who's making messages?
Marianne MacDonald Woodsome says hello.
Ah, okay. Why are they not coming up then?
So, I don't know. Restream is for some reason it's pulling YouTube video comments in, but not Facebook. But that's okay. That's okay. So, your Facebook is still on Friends, Juliet Friends only, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Because I've shared it and somebody said, "What is this?" Anyway,
it automatically sets it. Now I've set it to public. So
yeah. Okay. And does that now let this?
So and Ina's
look
here.
And there. Look now, the things have come in.
Oh right, okay, wonderful.
So that's what you need to do. If it's not public, we don't get the comments. That's mad. As an IT person, that is bonkers. What they've done there. Yeah. Anyway, we're in.
So maybe I should have checked that earlier. So if you didn't see earlier, we had a lovely discussion about healing.
No, they will have been able to watch.
Okay. So
because they were commenting in Facebook, so they're already up on your friends list, so that's all right. So we've got Marianne is on Facebook. We've got Ina in Scotland. Okay, I know we say that really badly. Really rubbish accent. And then greetings from Dartmoor, from Jack Cox. Hello, Jack.
Ah,
From Dartmoor.
Jack, are you in your tent at this moment? That's amazing. He's wild camping on Dartmoor.
I know, and I saw, I don't know if it was this morning or yesterday, I saw you, someone bonkers is starting a blog, and it was you, wasn't it, Jack? Bonkers blogging, something like that. It made me snigger, whatever the post was.
That's good. We need a few bonkers blogs.
We do. And then we've got Jyoti. Jyoti Hughes is here on Facebook as well. So hello, everyone. Really good to see you all here.
Yeah, do share.
We've got so share where are you this afternoon, like emotionally and psychologically and physically? Where are you at this? What are you at this afternoon, people? Let us know, because oh my goodness, what a week for shifting sands it's been on the what's it called, geopolitical front. It's like there's all these weird signals about stories, and there's very little evidence around things. So you don't know which story to believe. And then as soon as you think that might be the story that's true, something happens and you go, oh, it's not that one. So yeah, for me, it's been a real shifting week. And I have taken on this, it's like an intention, I suppose, for myself, that what I need to take seriously is what I know, or what I sense as deep truth in me. If it's not either sensed as deep truth through me, or I don't know, there's no evidence or there's no proof, I cannot give it any attention. I don't have enough energy to give my attention away so freely. So there are some really cool stories that I like, but I'm having to choose not to associate to them. One of them is med beds. There's a couple of other stories, but there is no evidence and there's no proof that these are not just additional pieces of the puzzle to keep us caught. Do you know what I mean? So I don't want to get caught in an idea. It's actually a little spell.
Exactly. I did see a video showing med beds, but I don't know if it's real or not. I mean, I'm the same.
Exactly. I've been looking for. There's a couple of other stories. I'm not going to mention them all because people just end up going cold. But there's like four actually, including the beds. There's 4 specific titles of information that I hear, and I hear, and I hear, but there's no evidence anywhere that what's being spoken about actually is there. And it's always tied together with this trust the plan. Like, no, trust in the plan. I trust what I see deeply in me.
Yeah. I mean, that also really links into your own process, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Trust the parents, trust the plan, trust the plan is a bit like trust the government.
Well, exactly. And then, all these white hat stories have this bit in trust. No, this is not a James Bond movie with just goodies and baddies.
Yeah,
this is my movie. It's my movie and I'm directing me. I'm not just going to sit down and wait for somebody else to direct me, because it's been happening all our lives, and look where it's got us. It's got us to a place where our sick system has taken over. It means none of us have got any health anymore. No, I'm not doing what I'm told. Stop telling me. I'm not doing it. Yeah.
I've always just gone on my own track and not taken much notice of anything.
Yeah. Well, if I can escape, I will. If I can't escape, I just sit in the corner and get depressed. Where are we?
I was lucky. I was so neglected in a certain way as a child. There was no control over me at all.
Yeah. Whereas mine was completely, I mean, I totally was off the rails, but there was this attempt to control, constant. Yeah. It's different combinations of our own stuff. We've all got our own trauma trifle, haven't we?
Trauma trifle, yes, I like that.
Different layers, different biscuits, different fruit. Do you know what I hate? When people put fucking grapes in a trifle.
Oh, it doesn't
why? Don't ever give me trifle with grapes in. I mean, I don't really like trifle that much anyway, but definitely not great. What's the point of that? I don't know. Anyway, sorry. One of my pet hates just threw itself up there. So where are we? Jack saying, bog, not blog. I stumbled into a bog. You bugger. No, you didn't. Or did you? Is that what? Or maybe it's because I couldn't read very well because my eyes were so stressed this morning.
You stumbled into a bog.
Apparently, that's what he's saying. But he's put a smiley face, so I don't know if he's joking or not. And the thing with text messages, you don't get all the energy, do you? So you don't know if somebody's being a bit funny, being a bit of a trickster, being serious. You just don't know.
Well, there's man-eating bogs in Dartmoor, so watch out, Jack.
Yeah, be careful.
Yeah.
Man-eating bogs.
Yeah, so coming back to what you said about the different stories and the shift in sands this week, I mean, there has been an incredible amount of things, and it's got very intense, hasn't it? And if there are some things like med beds that we like the idea of, but there's no proof, but they're kind of symbolic in a way, aren't they? That the evolution is going to take us that way. There are incredible amount of approaches to health and healing. And
because for me, Juliet, the more externalized the process, it's just more of the same. The processes that we need are internal ones, aren't they? Because the programming has been so damaging for us. Absolutely.
But on another level, in terms of med beds, I did come across something which I put the link underneath here. Was a woman, Christina, I can't remember her surname, but I've put the website underneath, and she was on Sasha Stone's.
Christiane Northrup.
No, not that one. She's wonderful as well, but she's a woman that was on the Lazarus Project.
Oh, yes.
Symposium that Sasha Stone did this last week. And she was amazing woman that she's recovered from really serious cancer, and then she had a child with serious cancer, and she lost 2 twins at birth or something. Really a lot of sadness in her life. But she's I don't know whether she's a pharmacologist or something like that, but she worked for some of the big pharmaceutical companies like Pfizer. She did work for Pfizer.
Yeah.
And she's got amazing, absolutely brilliant skills. And she decided to launch her own nutraceuticals. So rather than chemicals that are going to harm the body, these are really super powered ingredients that can heal the body. I mean, that's, like vitamins and things, but essences from plants. And what she's done is she's created a new technology using very, very high grade ingredients that can actually smash apart at a molecular level these spike proteins.
Oh, yeah.
And flush them out of the body.
Good.
And she's created 3 products, which I put the link underneath. I put the link to the shop, and they're not actually that expensive.
Okay.
Very much for healing the brain, I mean, cognitive awareness.
I mean, I know as I was saying that about it's an internal process that's needed. I also recognise that there are repairs needed to the damage that's already been done, in order to create a container that then is able to regenerate its own health. So, there are external processes needed, I appreciate, to help to do that repair work. And that's where I think where the medbed idea makes me go, oh, that'd be good. It's like, got a hole in my bucket. Well, let's fix the hole.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to grow a new limb or a new kidney or something? Especially with the Chinese Communist Party who's been whipping them all out and selling them.
Yeah.
Sure, there's plenty of people that want to repair the damage that they've done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think repair jobs do need external assistance, definitely. It's like
there is some medical help that's needed.
There was no point in putting crystals under it for a month. I did have to actually go and get some plaster on it. Although, to say they set it wrong. So I think I wished I had have just left it with a bag of crystals next to it for a month. Anyway, but yeah, if you break bones, generally, it's better.
Yeah. So what else has jumped into your attention this week?
Well, the booing, the hissing at the what's his name, Donald's thing in, where was he? Alabama.
Oh, Alabama. Yes.
Alabama. I have to say it like that because I know someone who's from Alabama. Gushers. They just swallow all the sounds. They're dead funny. Anyway, yeah, so we said something, didn't he, about, well, I've had it. Just get it. And the crowd just went, shifted their energy totally. And it shocked him. So, because I've seen reports since saying, oh no, it was all set up. It was, it may have been set up. He was not expecting it to just deaden the energy, which it obviously did. Because you kind of, he almost recoils as the silence drops or the energy drops. Because he is saying, just go and bloody get it.
I haven't seen that, and I think there's still a big debate around where he stands with all that, isn't there?
Well,
why or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. There's obviously psychological operations going on, but if you take at face value what he said.
But that's the kind of a big indicator of how many people are now turning. And I did hear.
Yeah, it was great. It was so great that the whole crowd just went, no, you felt it. It's really good because he's there and they're all going, yay, yay, yay. And he goes, just get this thing. And you just hear, moo, suddenly changes. It's great because it really does. It's like, how obvious can it be? This is not what we want. It's not what we need. And nobody's going to do it. Stop asking. Stop telling us to do it.
In France, because they're still battling on the streets because they've made it that you can't buy food unless you do, or you can't go to a supermarket, you can't go to a restaurant unless you do.
Yeah.
And apparently those that have done and those that haven't, they're all standing together and standing outside the supermarket.
Because that's what's needed. I don't care what you choose. Take it, don't take. I actually don't care at the moment. But I really care that somebody cares about my decision. Have your decision. Everybody have your decision. I'll stand by you for you to have your decision, whatever that is.
Yeah, freedom is priceless, isn't it? Freedom of choice. Health freedom is absolutely priceless. No one should be telling us what to do ever. And I mean, it's so priceless. I mean, it's a fundamental human need, isn't it? Absolutely fundamental freedom. And it's enshrined in law. It's enshrined in the codes that were written after the Second World War. So we have got some comments.
Yeah, so Jack saying he got out the bog and he was wetter. Hope you dried off now. Nice sunny day, hopefully on Dartmoor as well. He's saying Donald has always been pro-V. He's always talked about it, hasn't he? But if you listen to people who do, interpretations and things, reading between the lines, he's playing a game as well.
Because that V that he was pro may not be the V of.
There's all this, there's all this
because
coded speak.
He put the hydroxy stuff and the Ivor stuff all together with that because that's what he was cured with himself.
Yeah.
And that's
that's what he said. I had it. But what did he doesn't, he just says V. You don't know what did he actually have? What was in it?
Exactly. Says that.
And this is where, so I agree with you, Jack. He has always said he was for it.
But what is the it that he's
there's
for?
something about how he describes it. It's not straight. So there's a bit of double speak of something going on in there.
There's a lot of double speak going on, and it's hard for us to know.
And also what lines he's being fed because he's part of a bigger team. He's not doing any of this on his own, is it? So what is he actually being fed to say and do? And what is really his? Again.
Yeah. So it's a message from Ina.
Yeah, from Ina. Trump stopped Kennedy from investigating vaccines by taking $1 million from Pfizer. And then Trump appointed 2 Pfizer guys to his health consultants. Yeah. Yeah, this is the thing that I've always doesn't sit, is Trump is a corporate businessman. And the corporate business is the fucking problem. But that's his world. His world is supreme corporate business. So he thinks that the success in that world is what's needed. But it's that world that's actually creating all the fucking problems. And that to me is this straight away. Like with all the pipelines and everything and all these other projects that are just not nice to humans or the planet. Or they're just not right. They're not harmonious. They're not in balance. They're not based on balanced science judgments and measurements. And he's pro them because, as an independent business person in America, you can become what he is, even if, you know, you're being fed out of the dustbin as a child because you were so poor. So he wants to retain that ability for even serious poverty to turn into serious wealth. But using the corporate mechanisms to do that is not the way to do it. And that's where he falls down all the time. So what Ina was saying there about him, you know, getting into, because Pfizer is a very successful corporate business. I mean, they are the, I've put a post up today, I think, or yesterday. Pfizer are the people on the planet who've spent the most paying fines. Injunctions.
The most fines.
Yeah.
They've been fined the most for killing people.
Yeah. They just pay them. They don't care. They've got enough
Well, it's
money.
part of the business model, isn't it? I mean, the pharmaceutical companies do that all the time. It's like they get fined, and it's just like part of the cost of. But because they'll also do most of the settlements out of court as well, so it doesn't have any repercussions on them. There's loads of stuff. But yeah, the thing with Kennedy is interesting, isn't it, Ina? Because I remember it's about 3 or 4, Trump hadn't been in long, but he was actually corresponding with Kennedy. They were actually starting to work together, and something happened, money probably, or something anyway. But something came into that relationship, and suddenly Kennedy wasn't there. I don't know. I have no knowledge of any of that, so
I remember, but it was quite. Yeah, it was quite soon. It was close to the election time anyway. It was 4 years ago, you know. But yeah.
Oh, you mean the Robert Kennedy Jr.
Robert Kennedy Jr. Yeah.
Because there's this other going back in history that they're friends. They were friends from childhood.
Oh yeah. So there again, it's like what we see. They call it the optics, don't they? Optics used to be what you got whiskey out of in a bar when I was a girl. Anyway, the optics are important because that's the whole narrative creator.
Yeah, I mean, it's
what's actually going on behind that? Who knows? Really, who knows?
It's massively complex because there was this whole thing about Pence as well, wasn't there? Be it portraying at the time of the elections, doing the Judas act.
Yeah.
And now it's I heard recently that he was playing a role and that he wasn't really betraying. He was playing a needed part in that whole exposure of the.
Well, that's what's still happening, isn't it? The exposure is actually what's going on. So this, like, the stupid bugger has just walked into a massive thing, hasn't he? Get the soldiers out. Like, what a fucking idiot. Really, just. But that is like, the world is now, he's on the stage now and the world is watching. And what's he do? He goes, yeah, let's get the soldiers out. Let's fill up a few aircraft full of teenage boys and soldier age boys. We'll fly them over. We'll have them. Open our borders for them. It's just, but again, this is the optics. And it's almost as if we need to be smashed in the face with optics that make us go, no, this has got to stop. Well, we reached that a while ago, didn't we? All of the people.
Well, I don't know. There's still a lot of people going along with it. I mean, what does it take?
No, but I'm saying it's like where we are, I mean, the community that we kind of generally associate with. This has got to stop for over a year now, but people are still waking at that moment, and that's what these optics are doing. I think is the optics are actually.
Absolutely, and that's what both Janine, who does the tarot by Janine,
lady, she's interesting, isn't she?
And Pam Gregory and the other astrologer, I can't think of her name now, but they've both said separately in their readings that optics are going to intensify. Yeah. Everything's going to intensify, but it's not for us if we've already kind of woken up to what's going on to take any notice and not be distressed by it. It's like our role is to really work on elevating our own consciousness and actually doing our projects, creating the groundswell of new growth and communities. That's what we're meant to be doing.
And that's nice because as you were saying that, this message has just popped up from my friend in Mexico, Gabriela.
Wow, how amazing is
Gabriela,
that?
greetings from Mexico, the Caribbean, my dear sister Marion Bevington. Hello, Gabriela. Gabriela is the lady who is actually she's doing all of the work in Mexico to get the event ready in September, the equinox full moon event. She's organising. She's got books printed for me. She's doing everything. She's a complete godsend, a goddess. Yeah, she's calling me goddess. Oh. And yeah, and I'm great. I'm really grateful that you're here watching us. Lovely. It's really nice. And then we've got another message from Una about Pfizer.
Which one is that?
It? She says Pfizer happened. Marion, shocking. Kennedy himself talks about how he was dropped because they didn't want him to investigate.
Yeah, but again, it's like, is Kennedy playing a role? Like the same as Pence?
Yeah.
We can't ultimately say what's going on.
Exactly.
I think it's best to just like step back and watch.
This is exactly, yeah. So the point I was making at the beginning is, if it doesn't feel deeply true to me, I can't allow myself to get caught in it, because the rabbit holes go everywhere, don't they? You get stuck down so many rabbit holes. So it's like, so do I know enough about this? Have I seen the evidence and the proof? Do I believe it? And if the answer to any of those is no, I have to go, okay, let me just leave it on the side here, and it'll not suck too much of my attention. But I have to start looking and focusing on what. So this is why this last few weeks I've been focusing on Gabriella and getting the work that we needed done to have the event that we want, because we know exactly what we want. We know what we want to do. We know it's going to be an amazing event when it happens. And all we can do is just keep on doing everything we need to bring everything into place so that when the event happens, that it's all there, right there for us to do it.
That's it. That's the best thing that we can be doing, is like what people who are listening here is like, what can you create? What can you do that really feeds your soul and brings benefit to people? What amazing thing can you do? And then
it's
just like,
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Because we've got like this, we've got an alchemist who's involved, and he's given us some dietary advice. We've got another guy who's a syncretist, who's Santos Bonacci. Syncretism is where unity has been split into things like religion, politics, blah, 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 blah. What's behind all of that is this synchronistic view of who we are and how we're here. And so he's Santos Bonacci, that's what he's all about. So we've got Santos, we've got an alchemist, we've got an amazing musician who makes his own instruments into sound healings. Gabriella's an amazing sound healer. She's also a shaman. We're getting people who do nice textiles and nice jewelry, and it's going to be like a little festival. That's what I've got in mind. It's going to be like a little festival on the beach, and it's so beautiful to be creating this right now. It's just such a blessing to be able to put this event together right now, because it's so needed. A unification of sacred knowledge. That's what syncretism is.
Okay, and then Ina also said about the evidence.
Evidence for all to see. Trump is pushing. Yes. Nothing more needs to be said. I don't know if it's that clean though, Ina. It doesn't feel that clean. He's pushing. But he wasn't push. He didn't push. He went, well, I've had it. You should really. But that's not pushy. Do you know what I mean? There's more going on than we are being.
Yeah, no. I think also to understand how much of something actually hooks into us because we want to believe a particular thing, how it hooks in, and then we'll sort of turn everything into evidence. That's how it looks to us in that moment in time, because we want to push that agenda.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I know that there are good positive things that have come out of him being there, but I also know there's a lot of shit. And he ain't nobody to fix the other shit. He ain't no saviour in my eyes.
We can only fix our own shit.
Yeah, he's done some good stuff, but there's so much that needs to be done.
So the question is, what's the shit in your own life that you need to fix right now? Or we can go back to, what's that unconscious little vulnerable part of you that never had a voice, that needs some support right now to have a voice? I mean, that's your shit, if you like, is that part, that painful part that never had a voice.
So do you know where I got to with mine today was maybe she could sigh when she's stuck in that sort of frozen stasis. Would it be possible to just go?
Yeah.
That was I took 3 hours to get to that. Could you sigh? And all we got was a maybe. that might work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's very dense, isn't it? Very, very dense and needs a lot of time.
And it's so background noise to me. It is like it's constant. I assume it's part of my reality, my existence or something. It does feel very, it's like I identify with it.
But that's it. We
So-
shape our whole consciousness around these early experiences. So in a way, it's like there's no external reality. It's like we just have this TV screen that we're projecting out our truth, and then we see around us everything that supports
relates to that.
truth, and it's
exactly.
not real. It's like we're massively delusional, aren't we?
We are, and I get 2 delusions, one in each eye. Double delusional, I am. All right. So what we've got.
So how about people sharing their own weaknesses and pains and delusions, or is that asking too much? I mean, what do you notice about yourself where you can get hooked by situations where you...
Well, yeah. When we can see some of the situations that are hooking people. So fortunately, Gabriella's got this really lovely positive. It's a blessing to be involved in the beautiful ethereal equinox event. So Jack is saying he was pushing V back when he was in office. He was. But again, Jack, it didn't feel, it's not clean and clear. There's something. It's something.
But that maybe that's the important information, is that it's not clean and clear. It's like maybe it's just not possible to be clean and clear. And just like you took all that time, 3 hours this morning, to get down to that little frozen voice, you know, we need time and we need silence and we need to listen very, very deeply, very carefully before we kind of jump out with our delusions and our voices around what's really going on.
Is it where we draw a conclusion or we make an assumption? That's when we stop being open and receptive, don't we? So like assuming that he's all, he's always for the V, or he's a consummate corporate business CUNT, just for the C effect. These are my conclusions, and all they do is stop me continuing to be curious. And if I'm not curious, I'm not up to date. I'm not. Yeah, it's a dangerous place to be, isn't it? Outside of curiosity.
Yeah, curiosity is really, really important.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest tool in healing work, isn't it? The curiosity hook, rather than get kind of obsessed with an idea or obsessed with a storyline. Like, just be curious. Why are you running that story? What's that about? Where does that come from? How does that feel? Yeah.
So I think anything that blocks our curiosity, we need to look at deeply within ourselves, because it's going to prevent our growth, prevent our own evolution, isn't it? Let me see. So Jack saying, I hate speaking against him. I've always supported him, but not blindly. Good. I feel the same, Jack. Actually, no, that's not true. I hated his guts when he first got in. I thought it was going to be the end of the earth that day. It was like the end of everything, because I had no idea who he was, because I'd only ever watched the media portrayal of him.
Yeah.
And very, very little of that, because I don't even have a telly. So I had this really twisted, weird view of who this person is. But within a year, that had shifted completely, because he was bringing in emergency statutes to prevent all the bribery from impacting stuff.
And the child trafficking.
Well, this is where it came. This is where I had this shift. Because when he said that the human trafficking needed to be the most emergency possible, that meant you can't start messing around. It was at that point that I got oh God, what is it he's actually doing then? And then that was a shift.
Yeah.
Because he's not just this buffoon. He's also. So as you rightly say, Jack, it's not 100% behind, but also it's too complicated for me to draw a conclusion. That's how I feel. But again, if other people have conclusions about things, we all have our own way, don't we? We all have our own way of doing it. Marianne saying Trump's not mandated vaccines so far.
Talking about that, Okay. No, go on. Were you going to say something else?
Well, I'm just reading the comments. He's saying Trump at least is pro for vaccine mandates, as far as I know.
And then Marianne said,
Marianne said both of them. And then Trump is not for mandated vaccines. Yeah. So he's not about mandating it. He's about choice. And that came through when he went, well, I've had it. You know, you should. It's like, you should, but it's your choice, I think was what he actually said. So we left it, you knowing that you've still got a choice in this.
and
So
I think that's a really
very
important,
clear the way he put that on at the end.
Yeah, if that's theatre, it's a very important part of theatre, isn't it? To really support people that they do have a choice, and just because, you know, your mum has it or your son or whatever, although that brings up a lot of really painful emotions, that you still have a choice. And I was really, I mean, that's what's really heavy, very heavy at the moment, are people attacking each other because they haven't had it, or, you know, all this kind of emotional blackmail. I was talking to someone this morning that was massively attacked yesterday because she'd chosen not to have it. And like,
is she a common friend of ours?
She's a common friend,
Yeah, I spoke with her last night as well. Yeah, that's hard, isn't it?
Very hard.
They're awful, because like the last time I spoke to her about it was about a month ago, and she was talking about fertility and how she was not prepared to risk it because she'd had her own issues and she's got children. And she didn't want them to have fertility issues. So she started in that place. And now it's like the whole world is attacking her to do it. She'll come out of it stronger, and she'll come out of it knowing more resources. But what a horrible situation to be in at the moment for her.
Yeah. I mean, it's awful that people are attacking each other and blackmailing them. I mean, it's just like, that's the whole Chinese Communist Party kind of stuff, isn't it? Like, you have to adhere to the social agenda that society is more important than the individual. I mean, Trump is for the individual.
Yes. Really. Well, that's some comments. So Marianne's saying it's huge that he's not mandated the vaccines. And then Gabriella said he's always respected free will. Because that's what he's done about, you know, going from poverty to rich. You do that through free will. That's one of the tools, isn't it?
Yeah.
Changes your perspective towards him. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was very specific the way he ended that piece. Well, it's your choice. You'll always have. I think he said you have to watch it, because he does say something very. It's you know, it's well scripted, or very meaningful. If it's not scripted, it's very meaningful theatre, as you say.
Yeah. There's something else from Jack here. In answer to
Juliet's question, I've never been into sharing feelings, as I've faced everything alone in my whole life. Now I just get on with it. I hear a wounded little abandoned. I've got that myself, Jack. Just get on with it. Just fucking get on with it. But actually, my just fucking get on with it part is such a bully about other parts of me that need my help. So, but sharing feelings is so hard. There's no language for it. The only language we have around it is generally, don't cry or you'll get into trouble, or people will disrespect you, or you'll lose status, or you'll lose your pocket money, or whatever it is. You know, oh God, no, we're sharing emotions. That's against the law, isn't it? The way that we were programmed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because we are social beings, just getting on with it there's a bit of pride-based independence in that often. I'm not saying this is exactly what's going on for you, Jack.
Yeah,
but I'm just
pride-based counter, I've forgotten what it's called now. Developmental trauma, our pride-based counter
thinking.
That when there's so much pain around something, we have to set up an alternative way of being.
Yeah.
So now identifications. Yeah. So
now I just get on with it. Is I'm 100% independent. Well, we can't be, because we're human and we're social and we're mammals. And my skin isn't the separator between me and the world. It's the connector between me and the world. So independence is, to me, is a construct that is There's again part of the programming that we're in. You can be independent. They did it to women, didn't they? They had all that bloody suffragettes and everything. This was all, I mean, and then they did the whole how to make women. So now that they think that they're good because they've got the vote, now we need to get them smoking fags. Now we need to get them going out to work. Now we need to get the family split up. So this independence that we see as positive, 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 it's planted with toxic seeds. That's how it feels to me.
So watch out, question everything, Jack, even your independence.
Yeah.
Even like, I'm just going to get on with it, you know. Getting on with it can be very painful. Or
Jack,
if it's not painful, it can be very numb. I mean, that's, you know, if we're just numbed out to the pain. Then...
Mine is numb and bully. My just get on with it is very numb and very bully. She's a big bully.
Yeah. So
to admit it as well.
So Paul is on his way, and he's just going to arrive here in time to say hello somehow. He's here.
All right.
So
can you hear him?
Well, I did just send him a message. He might suddenly burst into the room. So I also want to say this on the whole thing about the stuff in your arm. Apparently Romania has banned it now.
Yeah.
Which is amazing news.
And Moscow.
And Moscow.
There's a story around Moscow. I've heard a couple of different versions. I'm not sure which one's true, but yeah, Moscow. And today, there was a thing about Australian drivers, but they've been making out they're going to do it next week. But apparently all the bikers wanted to start today.
Wow.
Roadblock in Australia.
Fantastic. And there's a hell of a lot been going on in Australia, so we won't fit it all in the next minute or so.
There's more from Jack. So Jack's saying he's been that way since he was 3. Yeah, they do start really young, these little pieces, these little parts. Too late to change now. No, it's not.
It's never too late.
It's a choice whether you want to change or not now, Jack.
The question is, does it serve you in this moment? Does it serve you, or are there other things that are being sacrificed as a result of, you know, staying fixated in this way of being?
Yeah.
So what is it that you're trying to change in your life that maybe it might be as a result of having a fixed identification?
Because my fixed identity with independence has helped me to travel all around the world on my own all my life. Live in India for 3 years, lived in South America for 5 years, and I know all of that was because of this wound. Because my running away wound was so I know how to look after me. They don't. I know how to look after me. I've marched around the planet.
Yeah, so Paul's just knocking on the door. And just to say that Germany as well has apparently banned it. Come in.
Germany has as well.
Apparently so, somebody told me.
Wow.
So, hello, welcome. So I've never met this man before. He's a complete stranger coming into my house. So,
Hello.
You have to come, which side?
Hello. Where are you going?
Welcome. Hi,
hello. Oh, look.
Welcome. So this is Healing Waters.
This is
how we like to have amazing people. So you're going to have to...
Yeah, it's Nicola, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, I remembered it. I was just searching in my little database.
So I'm turning the screen. If you go on that side, I don't know if you can...
yeah.
I don't know how we can get 3 people in here.
I'll just sit here.
Oh, how about this?
Yeah, she's a bit camera shy.
Oh, you're camera shy?
Yeah.
No, that's not working. Oh, anyway,
Paul, get in. Hiya.
All right.
Jack's saying hello to you.
It's one of the most, well, it is probably, I've been here for 5 minutes and I don't think I've ever been anywhere more beautiful in my life. It's stunning. It's incredible. You can't appreciate it until you're actually here. Yeah. And the views and the gardens and just everything around the whole place is just breathtaking. Yeah. It's amazing. So
it's great, isn't it?
We're never leaving. We're staying here forever.
Have you been up the high street yet?
No, not yet. We just got here about half an hour ago.
Right.
So it's a good 5-hour drive.
Yeah.
But the weather is absolutely perfect.
Glorious.
And as I say, it's probably the most beautiful place I've ever been. So I just can't wait to explore.
Yay.
And, you know, so we'll go up the tour and stuff and see all the Glastonbury, see the Abbey and just hang out with Juliet.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Cool. We've been asking people to bring your tellies to Smash.
Yeah, we just put a plea out for more tellies to be brought over.
I'll do it. Yeah, I've still got my trusty spade, so yeah, I'll be smashing.
I'm sure you could borrow one.
We can start a telly smashing business.
We're going to have a telly smashing channel.
Brilliant. That's what they're for.
Yeah.
On the radio.
So how's the yurt? How's the yurt?
It's beautiful. It's lovely. It's absolutely stunning in there as well. It's really, really nice. Yeah, as I say, I've spoken to a very nice lady called Caroline, and it's just absolutely stunning. I really can't praise it enough. So
Jack's saying, Jack is saying something. So what's Jack saying?
He's saying hello, Paul. Hello, Jack.
Said,
I want you on my
Waters
channel,
is
Jack.
extraordinary and run by beautiful people. That's what he says.
Definitely.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one here I haven't read. What's this one? So Gabriella's talking about Australia. We've just mentioned about the drivers. They're taking action in Australia in the next couple of days, hopefully. And Santos, is an Australian who's doing the event with us in 2 weeks' time. And so she's saying that she's been connected with, because she's been with him this week. They're going for revolution.
Good.
That's the word on the street in Australia.
Yeah, I actually saw a news broadcast from Australia about a week ago, and they were actually saying, the news reporter was saying, as we enter the new world order.
Yeah.
This is, so this it's like it's really out in the open in Australia. It's there. It's it's taking place.
It's got a new name now. It's called South China.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's the same thing. Chinese takeover.
God. So, for those people that don't know, what are you doing here, Paul? Do you want to tell me?
Well, I came across these two lovely ladies about 6 months ago, maybe, and then Juliet started a competition where somebody had to smash up a TV and explain why they were doing it. I've got to be careful with the words I use now, I think, but the Miley Cyrus and the Maxine and all that. So I did that, smashed it up over my allotment, and nobody else entered, unfortunately, so I won. So we've won 2 nights at this magical place with this magical lady, and I'm just over the moon. Brilliant.
And a cash prize.
Oh, yeah.
And a wealth creation project.
Yes, yeah. I will need to speak to you about that, Marion, when I get back from Glastonbury. If you're free over the weekend, maybe.
Yeah, that's fine. We do regular meetings. You'll be invited to Zoom meetings and things.
Brilliant. Yeah, lovely, great stuff. It's all going well.
Yeah, brilliant.
Fantastic.
Right.
Okay, so
our time is up, and
our time is up. We just have to. Do we have any announcements to make now, Marion, or not? About next week or anything?
No idea. Well, I think next week I'll be here next week. The week after that, I've got no idea if I'm even going to be available, because the end of that week is actually when I go to Mexico. I've had to bring it in back.
So we have to warn everybody. Hang on, Jackson.
I'm gonna go. I will, because of the time of day, though. I will be able to attend sometimes. So who wants to replace me? I'm irreplaceable, I know. But who would like to? Actually, that might be something, Juliet. You could have a little list of those who were happy to join you and share a bit on this forum with you.
Yeah. So if people have got questions, and then to put their questions forward, and we can give them a space to speak. And Marianne McDonald, she's very grateful about what Gabriella's just said about the revolution. Marianne, would you like to spend some time with Juliet here where I am now? Replace this face. Jack's already been on, but I'm sure you'd be welcome. Therese, you want me? Oh, I love that. Oh, Therese,
I'll still be here. I just won't be on the screen. I'm spiritually staying on the planet. What can I say?
Therese, have you been watching all the way through?
I think she has. Did we not? Oh, I see. I can't see the messages.
I never know who's watching or not watching. But
no, we don't get all of the names, do we?
So Brigitte is booked for next week, and not next week, but you're after your departure immediately.
Very good.
I know people love to listen to Brigitte's wisdom, which is very French.
Very French.
French.
Bisous, bisous.
French wisdom. Yes, Therese, yes.
Yeah, she's been watching for a while. Oh. So yes, please. Oh, Therese definitely wants to join you. That's what I've just realised what she's saying. So she
Is that what you
on
said,
your
Therese?
list.
You want to join? You want to do a video with me?
I've just interpreted it now. So that's
Or,
it.
or do you mean that you're here? Which is it, Therese? She's thinking.
Takes a little while for the messages to come through as well. Yeah.
So, okay.
Oh. Where are we?
She's thinking about it.
Just clicked on something and now it's all gone weird.
Okay, so I guess, Therese, you can contact me and other people can contact me. And now
she's saying, yes, I've been watching.
I didn't think you would want to come on, Therese.
You're a bit shy. Is she a bit shy? Share your shyness. Share it.
Yeah, you've got some wonderful things to talk about, Therese. A lot of experience.
We have a belief, don't we, somewhere, there's sort of an imposter syndrome belief that, oh, who wants to listen to me? I don't care anymore. I just like talking. But yeah, so if you've got that, oh, who wants to listen to me, Therese? I do. We've all got something very unique to share.
I'm really looking forward to hearing a lot of people sharing their experiences.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jack.
He's shy. Jack would welcome an invitation when he gets home. Difficult to do while backpacking and soggy bogs.
Oh yes, and that reminds me. So Paul and Jack, you're going to be doing an interview together, aren't you?
Oh, nice.
That's the plan.
Wait, hang on. Where are you?
Quite on a tricky man to track down, Jack. I would love to get him on the channel. And I also need to read his book as well. I'm absolutely dying to read his book because it looks really, really good.
Yeah.
So we need a way of communicating, me and Jack, but I'm sure we'll sort that out.
Are you friends on Facebook yet?
We are, but I don't think Jack's got a messenger. I don't think he's got one.
Okay.
So that's the problem. So perhaps we can swap emails while I'm down or something like that and sort it out maybe for next week. Yeah. But yeah, I've been watching Jack for a while and his videos are great and I love the way he talks. So would love to get him on my channel.
Yeah.
Nirvana.
Yay. Yeah, we're all advertising today. Bring it on. What are you going to advertise, Juliet? Juliet, you're doing another round of the trauma training, aren't you? When are you doing
it? So October is my next trauma skills training. So it's the second one I've done this year.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. You need, honestly, if you haven't done it, you need to go. This is how we can talk so eloquently around things like, you know, the independence wound and developmental traumas. And then there's just how the trauma is impacting us, how we can work with our parts, how we work with our highest. So all of these parts I know how to talk about only because of the training that I've done with Juliet. It's brought loads of really cool things that I already knew together, and it's given me this really different foundation that things are resting upon, which is much more compassionate, much more empathetic, much more realistic and kinder. Yeah. And so you embody those characteristics as you unfold into the process as well, I think. So yeah, everyone get booked on now.
Yeah, so October, there's obviously a limited number of spaces.
Because you're in the classroom right now, aren't you?
In the classroom, and it's very full-on one-to-one work with me and group work and amazing exercises. So if your life is feeling really stressful at the moment, if life feels like too confusing to cope with, all those kind of things, you can't make sense of it, can't manage the stress levels, then when you do this training, it teaches you how to regulate, how to work with your nervous system to bring down levels of anxiety so that you will sleep better, you will have better relationships. Life will feel different after doing this.
It does, definitely. I can vouch for that. I think Ariane's interested in coming to your trauma training, but she's in San Diego. Santa Barbara, something like that.
I do have a online healing program as well, Marianne. So you might find that's a 4-month healing program. That's the first step.
And then Jack is saying that he has messaged you. So that should be an open channel for you to keep communicating through then, Paul. Cool.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess that's it. It's 6:10. Oh my God.
10 minutes late now.
10 minutes late, and we've got Zoom calls to do and people to meet and places to go.
I haven't even drunk any of my tea. I've got a cup of tea sat over there, stone cold.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. Lots of love to you, Marianne.
All right.
Lots of love to everyone here. Bye.
Thank
Bye
you,
from
everybody.
Paul. Bye from Paul.
See you later. Bye. Speak soon, Marion.
See you later, Paul.
See you later. Bye.
Yeah. Bye, everyone. Lots of love.